What is up, my friends? Big news for you today. This could be a huge week for a few of you who are listening to this right now. I'm talking about the type of week you look back as a pivotal turning point in your health. Now, look, I know that's a big promise. I know that sounds a little salesy, but if you've been listening to me for a while, if you've seen the types of results that I get with my clients, you know I can deliver. So stick with me for the next few minutes, because this is a limited time offer. So let me start by saying this. About a decade ago, I started having serious problems with my health. And without going into the full drama, in my mid-30s, I slowly got fatter and more healthy until I was at the point where I was 24% body fat. That's 1% away from being obese. My blood sugar levels were diabetic. So I was on the cusp of being diagnosed with diabetes. My blood pressure was high, and I snored so loud if I slept on my back that I would wake myself up. I know that describes your average American these days, or at least 70% of Americans these days. But here's the thing. 70% of Americans aren't in the health and fitness industry, and I was. I was supposed to be an example, a leader, at least in the area of health and fitness. And that killed me inside. I remember when I got my body fat tested. I went to my friend's gym in Miami Shores, Florida. It's part of Miami. And I stepped on the InBody scale. And I was so excited because I was sure I had been working out. I was eating low carb. I stepped on that machine. And when he got the readout and looked at it, because the machine prints out an actual paper version, if you've never done an InBody test, and he read, "Oh, yeah, your body fat's 24%. I was angry. I was also in denial. And it was so funny to see his face, because I'm sure it's not the first time that's happened to him. I would love to get him on the show and ask him about that. But it was a turning point for me. I'm like, I'm fat. And I remember, just to finish the story with my friend, I remember telling him, like, no, that can't be right. I was like, there's no way that's right. There's no way I'm 24% body fat. Like 14% body fat, okay, but 24? And because I was like a very aggressive kind of person in those days. I was competing in jiu-jitsu, and like, I was not the type of person you'd want to, anyway, he was my friend. It's not like I was going to do anything, but I just gave off the vibe like, oh, okay. And I actually wish he would have been even more stern with me. But what he did was he's like, well, that's what the numbers say. And I was like, ooh. And even worse than that, I felt terrible. I knew there was a problem. I just was ignoring it. I was exhausted all the time. I didn't have the energy I needed. I was trying to build my business, but I got burned out so easily. It was hard for me to be productive. I mean, I put in the hours, but the actual results that I got from the hours that I put in, I just wasn't getting good results. And my sex drive was low. I was arguing a lot. I was irritable and arguing with my partner. My sex drive was low, not great for a guy in his 30s or really anyone in their 30s. And my self-esteem was even lower because on a deeper level, I thought I was over the hill. I thought I had reached a point in my life where things were going to be downhill from here on out. And it's so crushing to feel like the best days are behind you. Maybe you can relate to that right now. Maybe you're not in your 30s like I was, but maybe you're in your 40s or your 50s, or maybe even in your 60s. And here's the thing. Like I said, I was in the fitness industry. I was eating low carb. I mean, I didn't even spend money on fruit. I wouldn't buy fruit because, carbs make you fat. And I was doing all these workouts. I was doing these Tabata HIIT workouts, which are 4 minutes long. And then I was doing these other types of weightlifting workouts that were really hard. They left me out of breath. Like I felt like I'm pushing myself so hard, panting like I'm going to die. But I was still fat, killing myself with workouts, trying to burn the fat off my body. And it wasn't budging. And I was so confused. And when you're in this position, what I found from talking to a lot of clients, as well as my own personal experience, you don't blame your strategies, because you're listening to who you think are the best people to learn from, right? So those people, they're in shape, they're sharing with you what worked for them, and you're doing it but it's not working for you. So what do you think? It's my age. I must be over the hill. Or maybe it's my hormones. It's the premenopause. It's the postmenopause. It's the low T. And since I had been a personal trainer in Miami Beach, and as I've shared with you, I trained a lot of celebrities and a lot of executives and CEOs in Miami Beach, but a group of people who I haven't talked as much about, who I used to train restaurateurs and club owners. And one of the reasons they liked me was because I was out partying with them, getting drunk, taking ecstasy. And I thought all that late night partying I did for those few years, because I did it pretty intensely for a few years before I just couldn't handle it anymore. But I thought, you know what? I spent one too many late nights in Miami Beach, did one too many hits of ecstasy, drank one too many drinks. I must have damaged myself somehow. But then something happened. I don't remember exactly when the shift happened, but an idea came into my mind. The idea was this: maybe I didn't know as much as I thought. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe my strategies were the problem. Maybe I'm missing something. And listen, that's not an easy thing for me to say, because while you might be an executive or a serial entrepreneur or an attorney or an accountant or an engineer, health and fitness was my job. And I had been doing it my entire adult life. I would have considered myself an expert then. Still kind of do in a way, but to think like, well, you've been traveling around the world, going to seminars, reading books, talking to people. I mean, coaching with coaches. I worked with some of the best people in the industry, got programs designed by them. And to think that after all that, and I had a degree in biology, I went back to school, did all my pre-med requisites, got straight A's in general chemistry. I only got B's in organic chemistry. I got great grades. I got straight A's in biology. I did an A average doing really tough classes. And coming out of that, I didn't know what was going on. Tough pill to swallow. But when I did, I was able to figure out what was wrong. And I discovered what the problem was. I was introduced to an old concept that I had previously disregarded as being too simple and scientifically incorrect. And this concept, it promised to get me healthier, to get me lean again, but still allowing me to enjoy my social life, because I like going out to restaurants. I like going on vacations. I like to eat almond croissants. I like to have dessert, especially when the chef's name is on the dessert menu. And at first I thought, can this really work? But my back was against the wall and I was desperate. I was open to any possibility, no matter what it took. As long as it wasn't going to involve like not eating for 7 days, wouldn't do that. But as far as like, okay, if there's something in the realm of like something I could do, like I'll try it. I'm stressed. I'm not happy. I feel terrible, but I'll try it. And I'm so thankful I did. I'm so grateful that I eventually opened my eyes and committed to myself and committed to this solution, because guess what? I am in the best shape ever. I'm about to turn 45. My body feels great. I'm traveling the world. I was just in Mexico. I ate the tacos, conchinitas. I was in Colombia. I ate the paisa bandeja. When I was in Thailand, I ate the Thai food. I ate the pad Thai and the green curry. When I was in Bali, I ate the pork ribs and the amazing Balinese food. I don't remember the names. When I was in Malaysia, I ate the bak kut teh. When I was in Hong Kong, I ate the not so delicious macaroni soup and ham, kind of weird cuisine that they have in Hong Kong. I've traveled around the world. I've eaten very different foods. I've eaten in some of the best restaurants, and without guilt, and still maintaining a low body fat percentage. And not only because of that decision did my body fat change and my energy levels changed, but it also changed my relationships. I'm a happier person. One of the things when you're experiencing poor health, when you look in the mirror and what you see doesn't reflect how you feel anymore, you're like, oh man, that's not me. That's a terrible place to be. And that's where I was. But now I look in the mirror, I'm like, I like how I look. And if I don't, I know exactly how to change it. That power, it's incredible. It's like having the problem of, oh, I need to make more money. Okay, so I'll go make more money. It'll also transform my business. Here's something I've never shared. I don't think I've ever shared this before. I've been running coaching groups for a long time. I've been helping people for a long time. I've been in this business 23 years now. But until I found this, and I actually eventually hired a coach and worked with a coach when I was traveling, that's what turned my business around. I was doing okay, but when I invested in coaching and transformed my body, it turned my business around. And because of this decision and how it affected my relationships, how it affected my business, it changed my life. But I'm going to be upfront with you. I really wanted to change, and I worked really hard to solve it. This wasn't some magic pill. This was spending dozens upon dozens of hours delving into the latest, most cutting edge research on fat loss and exercise science, figuring out what will work for a person who's 40 years old and has limited time to work out and who likes to go out and eat and who's interested in longevity, who's interested not just in losing 20 pounds in a few months and then going back and gaining the weight back, but what are the strategies in exercise science and nutrition, and what I would eventually figure out in the psychological strategies to get in shape, stay in shape, and maintain that for the rest of your life. And I spent over $30,000 on training, mentorship, books, and events trying to figure out how to make this work. Then almost out of nowhere, I cracked the code. And for the first time in my life, I was actually looking lean without following an extreme diet. For me, I was a low carber, never got into the keto, and I gave that up. I eat carbs every day now. Or spending hours at the gym. I used to crush myself with jujitsu workouts. I used to spend so long in the gym, just my workouts. Now my workouts have gotten a little bit longer because I want to look super duper sexy now for my 45th birthday. But I was able to transform my body with just 45-minute workouts. And it felt so liberating. And if you haven't experienced it, if you're feeling right now that there's something wrong with you, something wrong with your metabolism, maybe it's your age, maybe it's your hormones, and you're working so hard to figure out the fat loss, it's not just the poor health, the low energy, and those things that crush you. It's the powerlessness. It's that feeling of powerlessness that you feel. You work out so hard, you try to eat the right things, and nothing budges. The weight stays the same. The pants just get tighter. The dresses still feel too snug. You can't fit back into your clothes that are sitting in your closet. But once you figure this out, once you have control over this, it's a liberating feeling. And I mean, I felt on top of the world. I finally knew how to get lean and stay lean by doing less, not more. It's priceless. All because of that one decision I made in a single moment. I went from feeling sucker punched in the stomach by life to feeling alive and happy again. Like, wow, I'm going to be 70 years old and still have this body. Now it's going to get more wrinkly and it's going to get harder to keep for sure. But I know I can sustain this for the rest of my life, even 80. So here's the deal. I want to share this discovery with a few select people who listen to this podcast. After putting all this together behind the scenes for you, I want to show you what I've come up with. And to celebrate this life-changing discovery that I've been struggling with for more than a decade and have now figured out, have now cracked the code, I'm doing something incredibly unique for a few select people. I'm going to give a few people who are listening to this right now a major advantage that I had when I first started. But here's the problem. This will only be available for a limited number of people. Why? Because when you hear what I'm going to do, the personal guidance I'm going to provide to these people, you're going to understand why it's limited. So I'm going to be investing a lot of time in it. So here's what to do next. If you're at the point where this is a must for you, but you're not looking for a quick fix, you're not just looking to lose a few pounds only so that you can feel great when New Year's rolls around, only to slide backwards if you're looking to get this handled, if you're looking for the breakthrough strategies that I feel like no one person has, I really feel that way. The way I've mixed these strategies along with the psychological components, nobody does it like I do. If you want a huge breakthrough, not just in the strategies, the workouts, the nutrition, but how do you make it sustainable? How do you keep this up? How do you look and feel amazing for the rest of your life, no matter how busy the seasons of your year get, and you want to solve this now? Here's what I want you to do. We're opening 15 spots up for our group coaching, our brand new group coaching program, along with, we have everything new, a new course. It's game changing. And if you want in, it's a first come, first serve basis. So if this feels good for you, if you want in, go to legendarylifeprogram.com/apply. legendarylifeprogram.com/apply. What am I sending you to? Well, it's a short call. It's a short 15-minute call. And if we're a good match by the end of the call, you'll also get a priority invite before anybody else to lock in your spot with the rest of this exclusive group. So I want to be clear here. On this 15-minute call, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not going to ask for your credit card. There's nothing to buy. It's just to see if you're a good fit for this group. And if you're not, I'll let you know politely. And if you are, get ready. I want to tell you this. Once these spots are filled, this offer will go away. I'm looking for 15 people. I take my coaching extremely serious because I put my heart and soul into it, baby. So if you're ready to crush 2022, if you want to win big with your health, if you want to lose those pounds and do it in a way that's sustainable, not like other body transformation groups, coaches who show the before and afters, but then they don't show when their client slides backwards 6 months or a year later. If you want to do this sustainably in a way that you understand what to do no matter what life throws at you, how to get and stay in shape and be elite, go to legendarylifeprogram.com/apply. One more time, legendarylifeprogram.com/apply. That's all I've got. I truly believe you're going to love this. Chat soon. Have an amazing day.